Today, we're going to lay out a big piece of artwork on a tabletop. So you guys know we've been doing tables for a while. Now, a buddy of ours wants a wolf-themed table for his wife. So there's some things that kind of go into play. First of all, you want to make sure that whatever you're laying out is sanded nice and smooth. You want to fill in all the cracks. You want to make sure that this thing is fully prepped and ready to lay artwork on it. If it's rough cut, then it's not going to transfer very well. So you want to sand with at least an 80 grit just to get everything nice and smooth after you fill all the knots and cracks. The other thing you really have to pay attention to is the shape of your board. So this tabletop is roughly 18 by 48. So we can't have a piece of artwork that's really tall and narrow. It just wouldn't look good. If the customer is supplying the artwork for you, then you can work the table shape around the artwork. But in this case, our buddy said just some sort of wolf theme. So we have a little bit of creative freedom. One other thing you got to make sure to do is you have to make sure and get the size of the piece of artwork you want on the table. So just because this board is 18 by 48, well, we can't make the artwork that big. So I'm going to measure and see exactly what size of the artwork we want on here, kind of based around the whole idea of how it's going to look as a finished product. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to screen record the entire process on the website called Rapid Resizer. We've used this site for years and it works really good to make sure that we can size exactly what we're looking for and kind of manipulate it a little bit to fit on whatever board that we're using. So for the basic measurement for the artwork, it's around 11.25 by 40. Now, that's a rough guess. Once you get in here and start messing with this stuff, you can kind of fine tune it. So you can save all kinds of designs in Rapid Resizer. Mom already uploaded this one in there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it, because when you first bring the artwork into Rapid Resizer, it gives you a much bigger measurement. So what I do is I hit the crop button and I move those lines just outside of the drawing itself, because that's the only thing I want to measure. This is where it gets a little tricky. First thing I'm going to put in is 40 inches wide, and that's going to give me a proportional measurement. You can see that the little proportional box is clicked. Well, proportionally, that makes it almost 19.5 inches tall. That's way too tall. So now I have to kind of mess with stuff. I'm going to try it at 11 inches tall and see how that looks. I don't like how that looks at all, so I have to mess with some measurements. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring those sides in. Maybe we can have a little bit more open area on the end of the table, and I think that would look good. Actually, that's how a lot of our tables are. So I'm going to drop that down about 10 inches. So that's going to bring it in 5 inches from each side. I think that looks pretty good, but it's still a little bit tall. So now I just got to keep messing with it and see how 11 by 30 looks. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think that looks pretty good, but I think I still want to mess around with it a little bit. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to crop out the top bird above the sun. That's going to give me a little bit more space, and it's really not detrimental to the look overall of the table. No one's going to notice that there's a bird gone. So that's going to allow me to get it a little bit taller. And I think once I did that and I made it 30 by 11, I think that's what we're going to go with. So remember that when you're doing this, you want to think of the entire look of whatever you're making, whether it's a sign or a table or whatever. If you're going to have background on the sides, you got to kind of think of it as a whole, not just the artwork. And again, guys, this website makes it really easy to use. It doesn't take much computer skill at all. And then once you get whatever size you're looking for, then you just hit the print button. Now, there is an option to mirror. So if you have wording on it, you have to mirror it before you do your sizing. This is artwork, so it doesn't really matter which way the wolf is facing. And once you get it ready and you hit print, it's going to print out on individual sheets of paper. Now, you can't use regular paper. What we use more than anything is label backing. We take all of the sticky stuff off, and then you want to print on the shiny side of the paper. And what that's going to do is that's going to print, but all the ink is going to be wet, so you have to be really careful not to touch the ink. Now when you get them all printed out, you want to lay them all out and make sure that they are exactly how you want them to be. I've made the mistake of putting an N on upside down, and I had to sand the whole table off, so lay everything out and make sure that it's right before you start putting it together. Each one of your pages are going to have margins all the way around, and you have to keep some and you have to get rid of some. So what I do is on my top row, I cut off the right margin. And on my bottom row, I cut off the right margin and the top. And I do that because you need to have one margin to lay the paper on to stick them together. You'll see what I mean here in just a second. But it's a good idea to do the same thing on everything. On all the top row, cut off the right side. On all the bottom row, cut off the right side and the top. Now you can see right here what you want to do is you want to line the artwork up. And the margin that I left on the left side of the middle paper is allowing me to place it on there and tape it together. Now this tape is amazing. I'll leave a link in the description below. Because this stuff is shiny, it's not like regular paper. Normal tape doesn't hardly keep them together. This is a really thin little green tape. I actually think it's floral tape, but I'm not 100% sure. But this stuff has been a huge game changer for us in putting all of our pieces together when we're doing this inkjet transfer process. Now, I did the top row first. Now I'm doing the bottom row. And now when you have an area that you can't take because there's a bunch of ink in there, I just take a paper towel or a tissue and I wipe some of the ink off and I lay the tape on top of that. But you want to be careful not to hit your lines. All the middle of that tree is going to be gone when I carve it, so it doesn't really matter if I smudge that. It's just the outside lines that I'm going to be carving I got to be really careful of. Now once I did that, then I put the bottom row on top of the top row and I taped the whole thing together. And this is how it turns out. You can see I was a little off on some of the margins, so I'll have some lines in there, but the biggest thing is that I'll be able to see what I want to carve and carve it. Once it's all put together, then you want to measure and make sure that everything's square and make your marks around your paper. That way when you flip it over, you have those marks to make sure that it's exactly where you measured it to be. It's a good idea to measure to the artwork. So I have 9 inches from the outside of the trees to the outside of the board and 4 inches from the top of the tree to the top of the board. To flip it over, it's a good idea to have somebody help you because it's pretty fragile. Then I tape up all the seams and I use a little plastic spatula to smear all of the ink onto the board. If you rip it, just tape it up and you'll be just fine. You can see that it transfers really good. Sometimes, like on this tree here, you might have some areas you have to kind of fill in a little bit, but 99% of it got onto the board and it'll be really easy to see as I'm carving. One thing you want to do, put a couple light coats of clear over it before you start carving, because as you're moving the router around and moving your arms, it will smear the ink. So make sure that's sealed in there good. So there it is, you guys. This is my least favorite part of the whole process. It really is. But once you do it a few times and you kind of get a system down, it's really not that difficult. Obviously, the bigger you go, the more pages you're going to have, and you got to be really careful not to touch the wet ink. So it takes a little bit of practice, but don't get discouraged. Just do a few small pieces first and then kind of move on to the bigger stuff. But again, that rapid resizer website, man, that has been a game changer for us. It really does help a lot. I'll leave a link in the description below for the tape we use because that stuff is amazing. It's the only stuff we've found that will really hold on to the shiny part of the paper. As always, if you have any questions, you can shoot me an email, ryan@makeawoodsign.com. And don't forget, go check out the website, makeawoodsign.com, for all your sign carving supplies. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.